Welcome to This Week in Mariemont Warriors Sports here in East P Media, powered by Sidearm Sports on MariemontSports.com. I'm Jason Griefer, and as always, we're joined by Mariemont Athletic Director Tom Nurl. Tom's in the car today. He's headed off to a pretty big event today, Tom, are we not?
CHL Golf Championships. It's coming down to the wire this year. Madera with an outstanding season. Coming up, captured the regular season with their winning a tri-match with Mariemont and Indian Hill last Monday at Camargo's. So Indian Hill took the preview, and Mariemont finished second, and Madera took the league, and I think Mariemont finished second. And so today comes down to the championships where we're trying to take the league title and defend our title from last year, defend the tournament title from last year. So hopefully the boys get off to a good start, get a good round in today. What beautiful weather they have to go out there at the Mill Course and hopefully plant their flag in the title.
It was a pretty good tri-match. So last week, as you said, Madeira wound up winning it and getting by your team by just 8 strokes total. So, I mean, everybody was right there. Indian Hill, as you said, they were right there too. Is your team looking at this championship today as kind of also some added revenge too for last week to say, hey, you may have got us last week, but we're going to win the ultimate prize here today?
Yeah, we didn't shoot well last week, and I think the boys would tell you that as well. But this has been one of their goals to repeat and get the tournament. So I don't know if it's so much revenge, but just so much getting their game together, getting ready for a sectional tournament next week, and putting things in place to hopefully make a long run into the districts and further.
And we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that, and we'll talk about that on next week's show. Let's talk about some of your other sports. Football, after a couple of rough weeks, gets a really nice bounce-back win, 45-23, to get back to 500 ahead of this week with Reading. Your quarterback, Andrew Glassmeyer, continues to lead the CHL in passing yards. Also got his running game going, had a couple of touchdowns on the ground. And the thing that impresses me, you look at him, and he's listed on MariemontSports.com at 5'8" and 164 pounds. And yet he's leading the CHL in passing. And as you said, got his ground game going this past week. How tough of a kid is he?
He's really tough. I'm not sure if that roster is correct, but he's a tough kid. He's a 3-sport athlete, and he's backup guard in basketball. He's a starting pitcher in baseball. But he's a tough kid. He's taken some knocks like Joe Burrow this year. He's taken some knocks against Wyoming and Indian Hill. Tough kid, doesn't mind calling his own number or having his number called to take it up the middle, and scrambles well when we run that option. So, but yeah, throwing the ball well, directing things well. One downfall in that Finneytown game is we think we lost our receiver, Max McGowan. Max, a senior, hit on the sideline and some knee injury there. So we're still waiting to find the results on that. But hopefully Max is okay, and we get him back in the lineup soon as we go ahead towards Reading this week.
Yeah, all the best to him and any potential injury recovery there. You have a better offensive line, though, than Joe Burrow has. Would that be true?
Not even going there.
We'll move on. Cross country, let's talk about them for briefly here. They're in a bit of a break right now. We talked about last week and maybe kind of using it as a reset, before they get back in the final stretch in October. Do you also sense maybe they're using it as a kind of a mental break right now, at least early on in this off time before they get going for the final stretch again against outside competition?
Yeah, they did. They took a couple days off from practice last week, got some easy runs in. Some of the team will go to Seven Hills this week, and I think there's another match we're going to go to. But then we've also just filled an Indian Lake Invitational for a week from Saturday. So they're getting back after it. The runners usually don't get a break in the middle of the season like this. So hopefully that is just knocking off that pounding and the wear and tear that they have from running every week or sometimes twice a week. Hopefully that pays off as we go to the CHL championship here in October, and then the districts and regionals. So yeah, we hope they are. They're running well. They're in great shape. We have a number of kids that play 2 sports, like Martin Eisenhower, Henry Buck, and a number of them. And so they're playing well in soccer and getting a lot of running in that way. But yeah, we think it's going to pay off, and coach is really excited about the progress and what they're looking forward to.
We'll talk about soccer here in just a moment, but first we got a pretty big match coming up in volleyball, one with Madeira, and a chance to really get things going in the right direction after a 2-4 start in the in the CHL. We've talked about the Mariemont Madeira rivalry here before. For those that don't know, and we'll talk about this specifically with volleyball. How big of a rivalry is this when these two get together on the volleyball court?
Yeah, we think Madeira is our rival, and I think they feel the same way. Our schools are very comparable in size, and our athletes are very comparable in size as well. And so there's always that wanting to beat your rival, but there's also I think a fair amount of respect there. I mean, all of our programs are very competitive as you get into the district level and the sectionals and the districts, and I think it's a healthy rivalry. We go back and forth. It's not something that we set our clocks by, but it is something that it is a game that we want to win. And in volleyball, you get two shots at them. And Madeira's having a good season. I
Mm-hmm.
know they took Wyoming to 5 games earlier, and they're senior heavy, and we are senior light. And so upperclassmen, I think we have 2 seniors, maybe 3 juniors, and then we are young from there. So we're still growing, just a lot of growing pains as we go through this. And we just try to get better each week. And so get 2 wins each week. And then, of course, on Thursday, we go out to Taylor to start the second round of the league. And that is always a tough environment there as they load it up. But, yeah, big week, 3 matches this week. Hopefully we can make some progress and knock out a win or 3.
Yeah, be good way to start the second half of that league season. Let's talk about tennis. They're also taking on Madeira on a Tuesday ahead of the Coaches Classic this weekend. Good rebound last week after the tough one against Indian Hill. Of course, Indian Hill's found its groove, and they've been taking everybody to task the last couple of weeks there. And going through that, coming off that loss, the way they rebounded, how much has Coach Spreen talked to the girls about staying focused on what's ahead of them, and maybe not necessarily reflecting on the past, and then how important will that be in the Coaches Classic?
It'll be very important. Coaches Classic does a great job in breaking teams down by team size and school size and ability level. So we'll be looking to win our flight as we go into the Coaches Classic. But yeah, a good bounce back, and the coach is always so positive with his message, and he's loaded. He's got a lot of great tennis players on that team, and they not as many seniors playing varsity, and I think we're looking ahead to senior day as well with Talawanda. So that would be great to celebrate these seniors. But they're ready. They're ready to wrap up the league. They're ready to get in the tournament and see what they can do as well. So good luck to them. Again, great weather to play tennis this week. They got to be looking forward to that.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's move on to the pitch. And, boy, there's a lot to brag about with your two soccer teams. Let's start with the boys. They're still undefeated, 9-0-0 after beating Indian Hill 4-1. We're 9 games or 9 matches into the season, whichever word you want to use there. How impressed are you that they're delivering these results each time out now? And do you think we're far enough into the year where this start is now the expectation every match, that maybe at the early start of the season people were surprised that, hey, they just keep winning. Is this the expectation now?
Yeah, it is. We've got a lot of guys back, and a lot of guys have stepped their game up. And that was one comment that we had made at Indian Hill as I was watching the match with our assistant principal, that we knew we had 2 first-team All-City candidates in Luke Brothers and Kyle Kroll coming back, but then just a number of other people that have really seemed to get stronger with their game. Romick and Eisenhower and Chelino with his throws from the corner. Just so many of them, and I'm doing them an injustice by not naming them all, but have stepped their game up. And you got a couple guys leading the pack, and everyone else steps their game up. They've played hard, so I think there's some proof there. That 9 games in, you are what you are. That's what I think. That's what Marvin Lewis used to say. We are what we are. And they played really well. Just a dominating game last week with Indian Hill. A great fan turnout that was sitting alongside the road watching it. Just a great game by them, and they're really playing well, and they're really playing unselfish, which is great to see. So yeah, 9 games into it, we're past the halfway mark for the regular season, and we're playing Tuesdays, Saturdays now, so it's a great routine to be in. But yeah, I think they are what they are, and I think they they were number 1 in Division III when they played Wyoming. They've kept that rating, and right now they certainly deserve it.
Yeah, they really do. They got Finneytown and West Claremont coming this week. Let's move over to the girls' side, and they also got Indian Hill last week. We talked about that matchup. We thought it was going to be one of those defensive type of slugfest, and then you go out and win 4-1. Indian Hill had only given up 4 goals on the season, and you put 4 on them in the match. You get goals from a couple of sophomores, Delaney Osgood, Olivia Trich. What can you tell us about going into this match, coach's approach into a big match like this? And then how it seems like, sophomores like these two specifically aren't afraid of the big moment and can get it done in a big match like this.
Yeah, it's sophomore class is a big class, and there's a lot of soccer players in that class, and so they've come from select programs. They've played up through our program. They've been there last year with the run into the regionals. So yeah, it's not like this is new to them, but yeah, you go into the Indian Hill game, and it's always been your nemesis. I don't think we've beaten them since 2007. They're a very, very talented program, year in and year out. They're consistently well coached. And so that's always one of the matches that you circle on your calendar that, hey, if we're going to do well, this is going to be a good test for us. And it was, as we spoke last week, something had to give. Them giving up 4 goals, us giving up 4 goals to that point in the season. And with it being a home match, it had a little bit of a student crowd, but a big parent crowd. It was also senior night, and so the troops were really fired up for that match. Very close game early on. Couple goals could have gone either way. There's a lot of balls flying in front of the nets early on. Some great defensive plays, some missed kicks on both sides, and so. Yeah, once we got up, and then I think it was 2-1 or 3-1, and then we got the one to put it away. The last 2 goals were really some rockets, really convincing. I mean, some of the balls that we sent towards the net, very strong kicks, and it's a good win for them. It's a great win for them. It's always a good one in that routine as well, but just a lot of confidence and people can find their game. So great win for them last week.
Lastly, before I let you go, both these teams are, as you said, unbeaten right now. The boys 9-0-0, the girls 5-0-2. We're kind of at the midway point of the season, as we talked about for both. And in seeing either from your own perspective or talking with the coaches, with them being unbeaten right now, how much room do they feel like those teams have for growth going forward, that they can get even better going into the second half of the year?
Yeah, they can. You just keep putting the pieces together, and they're healthy. We haven't run into that yet. A lot of players coming off the bench and playing key roles.
Yeah, sorry, Jason. We'll cut this, but
yeah, are we there now?
Yeah, we got you. We were talking about, but the growth of improvement, room for improvement for your soccer teams there.
Jason, maybe we just wrap, and if you just want to sign off here.
Looks like we have had a.
Am I in? Am I out?
There we go. We got you, Tom.
Okay. I don't know what happened, but okay.
That's all right. Like I said, we were talking before there, that glitch there about the potential room for growth with your soccer teams, even though they're both unbeaten right now.
Gotcha. You want me to pick up from there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, with both teams, having this, like we talked about, some senior leadership with the boys, and then the sophomores stepping up with the girls. But there's also good leadership in that girls program. You've got an All-American in the mix. You've got some All-City players from last year with the girls team. You've got some unsung heroes that stepped up a little bit more than from last year, and so that's a good combination from them. And then the boys wanting to prove that they deserve to be in the mix as well. So it's still a grind. They still have to get through the season, and then you have that one at the end of the season with your rival Madera. So still a long way to go to get a league title. We're closing in the point of the season where we do our sectional draws. So hopefully we have some success along the way, keep it going, stay healthy, and just see good results as we go along.
Well, we've had a lot of good results to talk about here on the show today, and hopefully we'll get more coming next week, especially with the golf team out at the CHL Championship today. Tom, appreciate the time. Best of luck to the team out at the tournament today, and we'll reconvene next week.
Appreciate it, Jason. Have a good week, and we'll talk next week.
Absolutely. That is Tom Nurl, Athletic Director of Mariemont High School, joining us for this week in Mariemont Warriors Sports here at MariemontSports.com and ESP Media, powered by Sidearm Sports.